Alright, Shove Crafters, here we are again on the range. We're a little close up now. I wanted to share this fun little one here. I've been fortunate enough to enjoy this. A good buddy of mine is here off camera. He doesn't want to be on camera, and I don't blame him. So I got to play with this the other day, and he's been gracious enough to try to bring it back. And it is the Lamat, Le Mat. Confederate generals carried this. I couldn't say people loved it, because that's an opinion for the history books. One of the things though, it's a 9-shot with 20 gauge in there. So right now I'm running 30 grains in the cylinders. I do have bore butter over there because I noticed I tried to shoot another video with this the other day when it was pouring rain. Forgot to put the bore butter on, and this gun kind of locked up. Now this is an ungodly trigger pull, or hammer pull. Trigger is actually really nice. The gun is loaded, and I am pointing down towards the shotgun, first. We're going to do that. I've got 30 grains of powder. I've got 1.25 ounce shot. So I've got, what's interesting is this is a 20 gauge bore. However, in 20 gauge, my 20 gauge cards for the Indian trade gun drop right down in this one. So it is actually probably 20.5 bore. It's a little too big, so I've got a paper card, and then I've got the fiber or cardboard card over, and then I put a lubed felt wad over to hold everything in, put the shot on, and then I'm actually using a nice heavy fiber 20 gauge, which actually does fit down here. So there is a little bit of pressure buildup in this, and it shoots really nice. I've already got some shots downrange on there from the other day shooting. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like shots on there. So I'm going to pattern off of here if I can. We're about 13 yards away, maybe 15. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully these all go nice. I did order from my buddy some slick shot nipples, since these nipples that came standard seem to have some problem going. So I tried 11s the first time, was inconsistent as you saw in that video. I came back out, tried 10s, was inconsistent. So I've reseated these, cleaned it for him, and we're actually back out here with him. And again, he's off camera. He just doesn't want to be part, and I don't blame him. So here we go. 20 gauge. Ha! And this is something I've noticed. I'm keeping this pointed in a safe direction because it is cap and ball. We did clean this, and I did not fire caps through it before we reloaded it. I thought they were pretty clean. So we'll try that again. I did notice that the throw down to this is kind of shallow, so it is breaking the caps. But it seems a little inconsistent. So we'll try again. And these are number 10 CCIs. We'll do this again. Haha, there we go. A little bit of oil left over in it from cleaning it, loading it today. Interestingly, as I was aiming, I probably need to aim high because I hit my paper down in front. All right, we're gonna flick this back, and you can see, that throw is so bad, but we'll see if we can get these all to fire. I seeded it. Yeah, so these are, all right, interestingly, I'm hitting high left, just barely on the steel. I'll show you. We'll spin this way. Let's see if I can get you over here. So those two up by the neck, and I'm aiming center, so I have not ever tried to pattern it or shoot this with them other than that first time, which was great. It is very strong, so we backed out to turn on the screw. And the even though I've seated the caps on the nipples, they don't go off first time. So slick shot nipples should be inbound today. Once I can get him back out again, we'll try, but you know, we'll see. So I'm aiming low right. Missed left. Man. Check this out. It's pretty tight after shooting. That bore butter is an absolute necessity. Absolute necessity. Sorry, I'm wearing shorts out here because it's actually nice out. So this is the navy version, which has the little detent to pull out. It shouldn't come all the way out. Of course I did that right on camera. If it can do it on camera, I can do it. So I got a little screwdriver with me. Anyway, so you pull that out and then you separate, as many of you have seen in videos of other people. You then unscrew your barrel straight off of the 20 gauge shotgun. It's a cool gun. Highly impractical, and so far not super reliable. The tight tolerance of everything in here, you know, and I noticed there's some fouling picks up pretty good. So you absolutely must use bore butter on here, and I've also found that I need to load it off gun. And so here's what's interesting. So when you go to your final turn, it fits so snug right there, which is great. I mean, the fitment is so great. But the tolerance there is that I can't, with these nipples and caps. I've tried the RWS now. I've tried CCI 11s, and these were CCI 10s. I've yet to find one that works really well. There we go. I'm talking to my friend. Same thing, I asked him about it. Hasn't shot this much at all. Yeah, my screwdriver is not going to be able to get that. I think a couple times. And let's see. It is a little spring. I'm just going to try to pull it back. I don't want to damage the finish on the gun. Of course, I do that on camera. That's okay. I'm going to leave it off here. He's saying it's okay. And if you noticed, this didn't actually fly out on any of them like you see in a lot of videos. So the spring, torqued down real tight and kind of pressed in, is nice. But we actually loaded this off the gun. It seems a lot easier. Couldn't get the balls underneath, you know, to fit in that loading mechanism, which is a weak point anyway. So that's as far as it goes up. I couldn't get that any farther back, so I could barely get the ball in to go. So it is a interesting piece of history. It is iconic, and in that neat navy, and that's the only difference I believe is that the navy does have the external hammer thumb flick, and then you have the press in here versus the lever that you pull down. It is neat. For about a $1,500 gun though, it's a little impractical. Would I recommend you buy one? Absolutely, if you've got the money for it and you want to have something fun to play with. Once these slick shot nipples come back in, They should be here today. I ordered them after that last video, and they were on their way. I was hoping to get them here before, but we tried to coordinate to come here. So the gun is shooting to the left. I aimed low on those other ones, thinking it was pushing up, so it's actually just shooting left. It's not shooting high, it is shooting left at 13 yards, 15 yards. You know, and looking through and burying that notch. And there's just a big, wide rear sight. And so when you're trying to line that up like that, there's a small little notch in the middle. So there's those big dog ears out there, and then when you flick that up, there's actually the notch in the middle. So you're almost like point shooting the way it goes coming out. And then that sweep of the handle is relatively odd. It feels good. It's actually a nice angle, but it almost kind of like a Glock where it makes you want to point a little bit higher. So it is a little unique. Anyway, very cool. I think this was made iconic to most people from the movie Westworld or TV show Westworld that came out recently. I have seen these, and I just remember seeing these in the old Cabela's catalogs long ago. And just such a neat looking gun. And then not knowing anything about them in the Civil War, but from Colonel Lamat, and just a neat piece of history. I think if I was going to carry this, I would probably have that hammer. When I cock back, I would flick this every time straight to that grape shot and see where we're at, because let me get that down safely, because it is definitely I don't know, it's a 44, but it's a little awkward. And so, you know, something that I was talking to my buddy about is maybe potentially buying a spare mainspring and relieving some of the sides and making it narrow, so you can, because you can get the half cock, and it's so long. Oh, that's the full throw. So it takes, even for me who's used to 6 guns, I mean, I can't, right there. And, you know, again, my fingers in the trigger guard. So again, empty gun now, but yeah, that's how long that is. So it's a long throw, and nobody, I think, talks about that. But it's super neat, super cool. I've always wanted to shoot one, and I'm thankful that I got to. And you know, it is neat because you have your 12 gauge or 20 gauge loading lever, but when you drop it in, until you get past the cards, you have to get a couple cards and then get some wads in, you almost can't do anything. So you do see a lot of people in the videos shooting theirs, flipping out, and this was 30 grains coming through. It's just super, super nice. I believe he said he got this one from Dixie. They are about $1,500, and it is just a beautiful piece. It's almost a centerpiece, showpiece. Shoot a couple times a year, maybe for fun. Reenactors if you want it, although it's odd that they put the loading gates on the wrong side. I mean, they should be on the other side. Everything else is very similar. And what's very neat is that if you want that cavalry spur, you can actually go to VTI, and it's just 2 screws for this trigger guard come off. You can put a new spur trigger on. Might be very cool. It's definitely an awesome piece. It has that skull crusher knob. I'm not sure if that was what it was designed for originally. I'm sure it was just the lanyard loop, but that skull crusher as well. So, you know, close up as you're bludgeoning each other, and then you put 20 gauge right on in there. I'm going to set this down, and then I'm going to zoom in over there and show you what's going on down there with the shot pattern. I can see a few on there, and I could see it really hit, so I'm thinking again we went low just because of the way of the inline barrel, and almost absolutely looking this way, we are low. It's just a neat piece. All right, bear with me. We're gonna spin you. Yep. And so, if you look, you can see a few, and then down here, those were wobbling from the shot, so I can see a couple pattern as well through there, some tiny little ones. So the spread was pretty damn wide, and it was pretty neat. Man, those mosquitoes are getting already. So anyway, there you have it. The Confederate sidearm that was, I think, only 2,000 or 3,000 made, and a lot of fun, and big thanks to my buddy who let me play with this now twice, and maybe a third time, because I'm going to get those slick shots on there. We'll see if we can get it running reliably. And I think I'm going to try to get him another mainspring and try to lighten one up, because that's really hard to do. And from a cowboy or Civil War thing, it is definitely odd. I still think that my favorite sidearm of choice of that era would have to be the 1860 Army with the full-size grip, not the Navy size. 1851 Navies are awesome. They're iconic. They're one of the first ones, and I used to like that look of the 7-inch barrel with that octagonal setting. But the 8-inch barrel on an 1860 with the full-size grip just points. I mean, and it carries so well on the ballast point of an 1860 is absolutely phenomenal. So from a pure pistol of the era, that's the one that I would say I would have to have and carry a brace of those, I would think. From a quick load standpoint, the 1858 Army all day long. It is absolutely an amazing gun, and Ruger Old Armies were made out for those. The 1858 Army was just an I think it was called, the official name was the New Army, I think. Just that was what they called it. But it was the 58 Remington pattern. Was just absolutely fantastic. They point, they shoot, and they hit. And that 44 is just awesome. And of course, it is literally starting to rain. Oh man, I cannot make this up. So anyway, just an awesome experience, and I really think it's a neat piece. And I'll end with one more close-up. I think, check this out. Hopefully, yeah, here we go. My camera can focus there. That color case hardening half cock. You can't go to half cock and hit your center, so you got to go to full cock in order to go to half cock, in order to strike your 20 gauge. But check that out. And then looking behind, I mean, that's just so cool. Just super cool. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed seeing that. I will get this back out here again, courtesy of my buddy. I just want to get, now I got a case for it, luckily, when it came out, but I'm definitely throwing that in there. So far, unreliable, because there is an odd something about these Italian nipples. It just is not working with these. I've tried the RWS 1075s, I've tried the 10s today, and most of them were seated. Every so often you can't get one down, and these were spotless clean. I threw them in an ultrasonic cleaner ahead of time to make sure we were good. So anyway, I will catch up with you guys later, and stay safe.